Good afternoon, dear students. So, today we'll be discussing a new chapter from your social science, and the name of the chapter is Weather and Climate. So, I think you are familiar with the words weather and climate. Yes or no? And we often say, like, today's weather is very hot, today's weather is very cold, today's a humid day, isn't it? So, today we'll discuss in details about weather and climate. And we are also going to discuss in details the factors that determine weather and climate. Weather and climate of কোন কেইটা factor determine কৰে, that thing also we'll discuss. So, let's start. But before we discuss about weather and climate, first you have to know what is called atmosphere. আমি atmosphere মানে কি এটো জানিব লাগিব. First, let me know from you. Do you feel the presence of air inside the house? Yes or no? Of course, we feel the presence of air both inside and outside our homes. We feel the presence of air everywhere. Means air is present everywhere. So, this blanket of air that surrounds our planet Earth is called atmosphere. So, the blanket of air that surrounds our planet, what is the name of planet Earth? Is called atmosphere. You remember it. One more thing you have to remember, that is the condition of the atmosphere changes every day. That means the condition of atmosphere doesn't remain the same all the day. It keeps on changing. Condition of atmosphere এখন ঠাইত সদায় একে নাথাকে. It keeps on changing. এতিয়া তোমালোকে গম পাব লাগিব condition of atmosphere মানে কি. Condition of atmosphere. So condition of atmosphere refers to temperature of a place. Okay, temperature of a place. Then it also refers to rainfall. It also refers to rainfall, then wind, then humidity. All right. So these are called the condition of atmosphere. So condition of atmosphere refers to this thing. And you always remember the temperature of a place, rainfall, wind and humidity, they don't remain the same. কোনো এখন ঠাইৰ টেম্পাৰেচাৰ সদায় চেঞ্জ হৈ থাকে, ৰেইনফলো কম বেছি পৰিমাণে হৈ থাকে, উইণ্ড আৰু হিউমিডিটি, they keep on changing. Alright, so what have you understood? The condition of the atmosphere, that means temperature, wind, rainfall, then humidity. This thing never remain the same in a particular place. They keep on changing. আৰু এইবিলাকক কি বুলি কোৱা হয়? Condition of atmosphere. এইবিলাক সদায় চেঞ্জ হৈ থাকে. Now have you understood? So the condition of the atmosphere changes every day. Now we will discuss what is called weather. এতিয়া আমি weather মানে কি সেইটো চাম. The day-to-day condition of atmosphere of a particular place is called weather. So everyday condition of atmosphere, কোনো এখন ঠাইৰ condition of atmosphere তোকে কি বুলি কোৱা হয়? Weather বুলি কোৱা হয়. ঠিক আছে? That means if we measure the condition of atmosphere such as temperature, rainfall, wind, ঠিক আছে? So এইবিলাক যদি আমি মেজাৰ কৰোঁ এদিনৰ কাৰণে কোনো এখন ঠাইৰ, that is called weather. So day to day condition of atmosphere, that means আজি টেম্পাৰেচাৰ কিমান, কোনো এখন ঠাইৰ যদি তুমি টেম্পাৰেচাৰটো জোখ লোৱা, মেজাৰ কৰা, এই ছাপ'জ নলবাৰী আজি টেম্পাৰেচাৰ কিমান, হিউমিডিটি কিমান, rainfall কিমান হ'ল, if you measure these things, yes, for a day, that is called weather. So day to day condition of atmosphere of a particular place is called weather. You remember, this is important. All right, next. Okay, now you will read this paragraph at home. So do you know there is a basic reason for having different weather. সকলো ঠাইৰে ৱেডাৰটো কিন্তু একে নহয়. ৱেডাৰ ইজ নট দ্য ছেইম ইন অল দ্য প্লেচেছ. অলৰাইট, এইটো মনত ৰাখিবা. কি কাৰণে? ডেট ইজ বিকজ অফ দ্য ছান. কাৰণ উই অল ন' কোনোবা এখন ঠাইত যদি হিট অফ দ্য ছান বেছি হয়, আকৌ কোনোবা এখন ঠাইত আকৌ কি হ'ল হিট অফ দ্য ছান কম হয়. চ' সেইকাৰণে কি হ'ল সেইকাৰণে কি হ'ল ৱেডাৰ ইন অল দ্য প্লেচেছ ডাজেণ্ট ৰিমেইন দ্য ছেইম. যিবিলাক ঠাইত ছানৰ হিট অফ দ্য ছান ইজ ম', সেইবিলাক ঠাইত কি হ'ব, there will be a hot weather. People will experience a hot weather. আৰু যিবিলাক ঠাইত কি হ'ল heat of the sun is comparatively low, সেইবিলাক ঠাইত কি হ'ব, people will comparatively experience a cold weather. ঠিক আছে? So what is the reason of having different kind of weather? কিহৰ কাৰণে হয়? That is because of the heat of the sun. That is because of the heat of the sun. আৰু সকলো ঠাইতে কি হ'ল ছানৰ হিটটো ছানলাইটটো ইকুৱেলি কি হ'ল নপৰে. সেইকাৰণে কি হ'ল ৱেডাৰটো বেলেগ বেলেগ হয়. আকৌ ওৱান মোৰ এক্সাম্পল ইউ কেন টেক. দিনত ৱেডাৰটো চিন্স দ্য ছানলাইট ডাইৰেক্টলি ফল অন দ্য ছাৰ্ফেচ অফ দ্য আৰ্থ, সেইকাৰণে কি হ'ল ডিউৰিং দ্য ডে উই feel a hot weather, but during the night, since we cannot see the sun, therefore night we feel a cold weather, comparatively cold weather. Right? So that is the reason. Remember it. Now discuss what is called weather forecasting. Weather forecasting মানে কি তুমি discuss কৰিম. So weather forecasting means the application of science and technology to predict the weather, yes, is known as weather forecasting. So weather forecasting means it is a branch, alright, it's a branch of science and technology which is used to predict means to say something that will happen in future. এইটো মনত ৰাখিবা. predict, PREDICT. Predict means to say something that will happen in future. That means in future কি হ'ব, ঠিক আছে, সেইটো যদি কোনোবাই কয় বা ক'ব পাৰে, that is called predict. So weather forecasting মানে কি? So it is an application of science and technology to predict the weather. Is known as weather forecasting. So weather forecasting, what is weather forecasting? It is a science. It is a branch of science and technology. Are you weather forecasting কি কৰে? It predict the weather. What will happen? What will be the condition of weather in an hour? এঘণ্টাৰ পিছত ৱেডাৰটো কেনেকুৱা হ'ব, নেক্সট ডে কেনেকুৱা হ'ব, বা নেক্সট উইক কেনেকুৱা হ'ব. য়েছ, চ' সেইটো কি হ'ল ৱেডাৰ ফ'কাষ্টিঙৰ দ্বাৰা কি কৰা হয়, ইণ্ডিকেট কৰা হয়. চ' ৱেডাৰ ফ'কাষ্টিং ইণ্ডিকেটছ what will happen to weather in an hour, the next day, the next week. মানে কালি ৱেডাৰটো কেনেকুৱা হ'ব, নেক্সট ডে কেনেকুৱা হ'ব, তাৰ নেক্সট উইকত কেনেকুৱা হ'ব. ঠিক আছে? চ' এইবিলাক কথা কেনেকৈ আমি জানিব পাৰোঁ? থ্ৰু ৱেডাৰ ফ'কাষ্টিং. ঠিক আছে? Forecasting, you remember, forecasting means predict. Alright? Forecasting means predict. মানে কিবা এটা কথা to say something that will happen in future. ঠিক আছে? So that is called weather forecasting. I repeat, weather forecasting is the application of science and technology to predict The weather is known as weather forecasting. All right. Okay. Next, expert who study the pattern and predict weather are known as meteorologists. So, who is called a meteorologist? So, meteorologist is a person who is expert, who is an expert, and he predicts the weather. Yes, he is a person. Meteorologist is a person who is an expert, and he predicts the weather condition. Weather to কেনেকুৱা হ'ব ঠিক আছে so is called a meteorologist এইটো মনত ৰাখিবা this is important so expert who study the pattern and predict weather is known as meteorologist weather to কেনেকুৱা হ'ব কালি কেনেকুৱা হ'ব weather yes next week কেনেকুৱা হ'ব next 1 month weather কেনেকুৱা হ'ব এই meteorologist বিলাক কি কৰে forecast কৰে বা we can say predict. So meteorologists predict the weather condition, the weather condition of future. So now, do you think weather prediction hold a great importance for farmer? Yes or no? Weather forecasting by weather prediction is important for the farmers. Why? Because what happened? The farmer, so the farmer বিলাকক কি হ'ল weather forecasting or weather prediction help কৰে. Weather forecasting or prediction of weather help the farmer to plan, to plantation and harvesting. ঠিক আছে so weather to কথা যদি if the farmers comes to know about the condition of weather তেতিয়া কি কৰিব পাৰিব the farmer could engage in their cultivation, in plantation, and they could also do their harvesting. ঠিক আছে so say for example a farmer, suppose you are a farmer, so you all are a farmer and you do rice cultivation. ঠিক আছে আৰু তুমি through weather prediction or through weather forecasting you have come to know for another next week or another next month there will be drought in your place pura completely drought hobo বৰষুণ নহব so তেতিয়া কি হ'ব then you will not prepared for your rice cultivation কাৰণ বৰষুণ নহলে তো কি নহব rice cultivation নহব yes যদি তুমি গম নাপালা হয় ঠিক আছে তেতিয়া কি হ'ল probably you will buy the seeds of rice, isn't it? Probably you will be busy. You'll be busy preparing for your rice cultivation. Yes. So weather forecasting, that is how it helps the farmers. Habo weather forecasting to জনাৰ কাৰণে ফাৰ্মাৰবিলাকে খেতি কৰিব নকৰিব বৰষুণ হ'লে খেতি কৰিব বৰষুণ নহ'লে খেতি নকৰিব so during the winter যদি গম পায় আগতীয়াকৈ যে বৰষুণ হ'ব নহ'ব depending on it they will engage in their cultivation. Okay, so this is important. Now let's move to the second topic. How is weather forecasting done? এতিয়া weather forecasting বা weather prediction to কেনেকৈ কৰা হয়? Suppose you are a meteorologist. Already মই ক'লো who is called a meteorologist, a person who can predict the weather condition. Suppose you all are a meteorologist and you are to forecast the weather condition. You are to predict the weather condition of Nalbari. তেতিয়া তুমি কি কৰিবা? What are the things will you study? তেতিয়া তুমি কি কৰিবা? কোনবিলাক বস্তু তুমি study কৰিবা? So for next week you are to predict the weather condition of your place. Next week weather to কেনেকুৱা হ'ব সেইটো তুমি predict কৰিব লাগে তাৰ কাৰণে তুমি কি কৰিবা okay then you will study the following things. First you will study about temperature, then you will study about wind, then you will study about humidity, then you will study about study about rainfall also. All right. So before you predict the weather condition, first you have to study these things. So rainfall kiman hobo, wind kiman hobo, humidity kiman thakibo. So you have to study these things. Yes. So after you have come to know everything about these factors, then you can able to forecast the weather. You can able to predict the weather. So for weather prediction or weather forecasting, so what are the indicators necessary? What are the indicators necessary to study? The first one is temperature. Now we'll discuss what is called temperature. So temperature refers to the degree of heat and cold in the atmosphere. So temperature মানে তো আমি সদায় কৈ থাকোঁ হয় না, আজি টেম্পাৰেচাৰটো বহুত বেছি, আজি টেম্পাৰেচাৰটো বহুত কম, টু দিছ টেম্পাৰেচাৰ ভেৰি হাই, টু দিছ টেম্পাৰেচাৰ ভেৰি ল', isn't it? So temperature refers to degree of heat and cold. এটমস্ফিয়াৰত আজি কিমান হিট আছে, কিমান কোল্ড, yes, so that is referred to as temperature. Okay, temperature মানে অকল কিন্তু হিট নহয়, temperature doesn't mean only heat. Alright, okay. Now, do you know the temperature of the atmosphere changes throughout the day? Yes, temperature to কি হ'ল throughout the day, দিনটো বেলেগ বেলেগ সময়ত টেম্পাৰেচাৰটো বেলেগ বেলেগ থাকে. Say for example, ৰাতিপুৱা the temperature is comparatively low থাকে হয় নে নহয়? And noonত কি হয় মানে দুপৰীয়া very hot, টেম্পাৰেচাৰটো কি হ'ল বহুত বেছি থাকে. আৰু কি হ'ল, okay, let me repeat it again. During morning what happen? Temperature is low. During noon high থাকে হয়নে? Again evening what happen? The temperature again decreases, low হৈ যায়. ঠিক আছে? So the temperature of the atmosphere changes throughout the day. In fact, you must notice that the temperature of the day is always different from that of the night. Yes, you know only the temperature of the day is comparatively high than the night. At any point of time, different parts of the earth have different temperature. Yes or no? So it is not like that the temperature is equal to all parts of the world. No, different part of the world experience different kind of temperature. So this is because the sun rays do not fall uniformly on earth's surface. It is why is the temperature different from one place to other? Because what happened? Because of the sun rays. Sun rays সকলো ঠাইতে, in all the places the sun rays do not fall uniformly. Uniform means equally. That is the reason the temperature is different from place to place. Remember it. Okay, so this part is important. Next. Okay, so this is the second indicators which is necessary to predict the weather. তুমি weatherটো যদি তুমি predict কৰিব লাগে তেতিয়াহ'লে you also have to study this one, air pressure. Now we'll discuss what is called air pressure. Our atmosphere is made up of number of gases. You know only and oxygen আছে, carbon dioxide gas আছে, nitrogen আছে. So there are different kind of gases in the atmosphere. So the gases of the atmosphere press down on the earth's surface, creating some pressure. We call this air pressure or atmospheric pressure. Means already you know our atmosphere is made up of different gases. Already I have told you, carbon dioxide gas, oxygen, nitrogen, helium. So there are different kind of gases, and all this kind of gases, they also create some pressure. This gases press down on the earth's surface. So this is called air pressure or atmospheric pressure. You just remember one thing, the gases that are found in the atmosphere, they press down the earth's surface. They also create pressure. Alright. So the air pressure inside our body balance with the pressure outside. That means inside our body also the air create some pressure, but the pressure created inside our body, that is balanced with the pressure we feel outside our body. That means outside our body বাহিৰত আমি কি হ'ল we feel the air pressure, আৰু inside our body also there is some air pressure, but there is a balance, দুইটাৰ মাজত এটা balance আছে, সমান সমান equal এটা balance আছে. So hence we do not feel the air pressure. Yes, why we don't feel the air pressure? Because pressure inside the body and pressure outside the body, that is equal, balance. সেইকাৰণে যেতিয়া কিবা এটা বস্তু equal থাকে, then we feel that we don't feel, okay, we don't feel it. Meteorologists measure air pressure with an instrument called barometer. Remember, this is important. So how do the meteorologists measure the air pressure? With an instrument called barometer. This is important. Barometer. Okay, now let's move to the next indicator. Wind. So wind causes leaves and dust to blow. You know, only when wind comes, the leaves of the trees and dust they blow. Sometimes these winds are strong, and they even uproot the trees. কেতিয়াবা কেতিয়াবা কি হ'ল wind comes so strong, and we call it তেতিয়া আমি যেতিয়া wind যদি বহুত fast strong হৈ আহে, then we call it storm. আৰু যেতিয়া storm হয়, what happen? They uproot the trees. গছ উভালি পেলাই, হয়নে নহয়? Okay. Wind refers to air in motion. What is called wind? What is called wind? Wind refers to air in motion. When we all know air is fell everywhere. So when the air move from one direction to other direction with force, that is called storm. That is called what? Storm. So wind refers to the air in motion. যেতিয়া এয়াৰখিনি when the air will move from one place to other place, when the wind will move from one direction to other direction, that is called wind. Means যেতিয়া এয়াৰখিনি এটা ডাইৰেকশ্যনৰ পৰা আনটা ডাইৰেকশ্যনলৈ মুভ কৰে যায়, that is we call wind. আৰু যেতিয়া when the wind goes from one direction to other direction with force, yes, we call it storm. Remember it. Normally we don't feel the air. However, during windstorm, air really makes the presence feels. Yes, already I have told you, when generally we don't feel the air, but when the wind comes with so much of force, then we call it storm. Then we feel the wind or the air. To focus weather, wind speed and direction need to be measured. Already I have told you, for weather forecasting you have to measure the wind, the speed of the wind and also the direction of the wind. So this is also important for weather forecasting. Next we will discuss humidity. Humidity is a term for the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. So do you know the air we inhale or exhale, the air we feel everywhere, there is some amount of water, there is some amount of water vapor mixed with the air. আমি লৈ থকা উশাহ নিশাহত লৈ থকা যেটো এয়াৰ বা আমি য'ত ফিল কৰি থাকোঁ এয়াৰটো, এভৰিৱেৰ উই ফিল দ্য এয়াৰ, তাত কি হ'ল some amount of water is also mixed up, some amount of water vapor. Yes, and we call it humidity. So এয়াৰ লগত মিক্স হৈ থকা water vaporখিনি কি কোৱা হয়? Humidity বুলি কোৱা হয়. So when the atmosphere has very high content of water vapor, we call it a humid day. যেতিয়া মানে কি হ'ল atmosphere there will be high amount of water vapor, then we call it humid day. Atmosphere থকা air লগত যেতিয়া বহুত পৰিমাণে কি থাকিব? Water vapor থাকিব, we call it humid day. Alright? Okay. Now we'll discuss climate. So normal pattern of weather experience in a particular place over a long period of time is known as climate. Now what is called climate? So there is a basic difference between weather and climate. Weather and climate. Alright. Okay, this is important. So already we discussed. Already we discussed weather means day to day condition of atmosphere. The day to day condition of atmosphere is called weather. Now climate. Climate is not the day to day condition of atmosphere of a place. Climate মানে কোনো এখন ঠাইৰ of a particular place or এদিনৰ কাৰণে atmospheric conditionক নুবুজায়, ঠিক আছে? So if you want to know about climate, if you want to know about climate of a place, তুমি যদি এখন ঠাই ক্লাইমেটৰ বিষয়ে জানিব বিচাৰিছা, then you need at least 30 to 40 years. ঠিক আছে? 30 to 40 years তুমি কি কৰিব লাগিব? You have to live in a particular place. তুমি এখন ঠাই 30 to 40 years তুমি থাকিব লাগিব. Then you have to study. The day to day weather pattern. 30 to 40 years তুমি থাকিব লাগিব. Yes, and every day তুমি you have to study. You have to study what the weather condition, like temperature কিমান, rainfall কিমান হয়, ঠিক আছে? Then wind কিমান হয়, then humidity কিমান, ঠিক আছে? So everything you have to study at least for 30 to 40 years. তুমি এদিনত, yes, if you measure these things for a day, if you measure the temperature, rainfall, wind only for a day of a particular place, that will be called weather. But if you study or if you measure these things, atmospheric condition like humidity, rainfall, yes, wind for 30 to 40 years, that means the kind of weather pattern, ঠিক আছে? কোনো এখন ঠাই বা in a particular place you live for 30 to 40 years, then you study the day-to-day weather condition. That means কোনটো মান্থত গৰম হয়, টেম্পাৰেচাৰটো বেছি, in which month temperature increases, in which month temperature decreases, in which month there is a rainfall হয়, কোনটো মান্থত rainfall হয়, কোনটো মান্থত rainfall নহয়, humidity, which season humidity increases, in which season humidity decreases. So এনেকৈ মানে কি হ'ল, বছৰৰ পাছত বছৰ, years after years, yes, if you study for 30 to 40 years of a particular place, then we call it a climate. That means climate বিষয়ে জানিবৰ কাৰণে, to know about climate, you have to study the weather condition of a place at least for 30 to 40 years. তুমি এখন ঠাইত 30 to 40 years থাকিব লাগিব, আৰু যেতিয়া পুৰা ৱেডাৰটোৰ বিষয়ে if you have complete knowledge of the day-to-day weather condition of that place for over a long period of time, that will call climate. So the normal pattern or the kind of pattern of weather experienced at a particular area over a long period of time is called climate. You remember it. In other words, climate of a place stays almost the same one year after another. ঠিক আছে? Climate